Hey guys, and welcome to BEXIT The Rock Diary. If you've just listened to my song, I'm gonna repeat it later because I've just listened to it and I heard that you actually can't hear me sing at all. So yeah, I told you I'm gonna improvise because I'm at the moment not at home. But yeah, well, thanks for joining anyway. So for the people who see this now for the first time, I'm telling something about my life and how I became the person that I am now. And I've already done a couple of videos before, and you can find them in this group. There's actually a topic head where you can click on and you can find all the videos. So I have to summarize really quick. I can't tell you everything I've already told you. So for some of you, it might not make sense what I'm going to say. But you can always watch the videos later. So I've been talking about my life and how I grew up, and actually as a child everything was very easy, but then later my life turned into a very difficult situation. And I've been guided to this course where you work on your consciousness, and I've done this course. And after this course, I was enlightened. It hit me like a hammer, and I was like, wow, my whole life is a lie, and I have to change everything. So at this point, I thought, okay, now that's it. You know, I reached the top, and now life gets better. But I forgot that actually I piled up a lot of shit in the past, and that you actually have to work through that. And during this working through, sometimes I forgot again what I learned actually at this course, and I started to pile up new shit. But I worked on a lot. But it actually takes a while when you're living a life where you're totally unconscious and you're just doing whatever. It takes a while to start working on yourself and getting everything back into order. I mean, there's so much in life that we have to do. You have to make sure that you can finance yourself. You have to make sure that you're happy. You have to make sure who your friends are. There's so much to work on, and when everything is just it's just breaking together, then it can be really hard. So after this year, I fell into a year of you could call it self-pity. I thought, did I not know myself all my life? I thought, am I such a liar that I just pretended that everything was fine with me and everything wasn't at all? So I was really disappointed in myself, and I lost a lot of self-respect. And but on the other hand, not everything was negative, because in this year I started working on my finances, because I had so much debt, because I forgot to pay taxes, when I was self-employed, and I swear I really forgot it. I just never went to the tax office. So so it was a heavy year, but if I look at it now, I can see that actually it was going better because I worked on the finances. But it felt that I just hated myself. I was down. And before this course, I had this identity that was really, I'm great and everything. Yeah, but I was destroying myself. But now I wasn't destroying myself anymore, at least not with anything from outside, but I started to destroy myself from the inside with my bad thoughts. So, and I think one of the last times I told you about a diagnosis I then had, because after this course I changed everything, changed my habits, and after a half year those habits came back again. And at that time I started to get ill very often, and I went to the doctor, not to a doctor, to a therapist, actually a natural therapist. And she measured everything, and she told me that my organs actually look like the organs from an 80-year-old. And at that point I decided, okay, you have to 100% do this healthy way of living or not. And she actually told me that I can't even have one more glass of alcohol, otherwise I don't know, in my head it sounded like my organs will explode, but she was really worried about me. And so, and I told her I can't promise you that I can't drink in 2 years. And it was really hard for me. But after we then, yeah, kind of made a deal that I'm going to try it for 3 months. And then it's gonna, yeah, we're gonna check me out again. So, yeah. So after those 3 months, I decided I don't even want to drink anymore. So this is how easy it went. But yeah, I told you last time that this angel came into my life, and it was a guy, and we spent all the weekends together. During the week I was working, so I was busy anyway. And I mean, I did a lot of stuff. I've been dancing, I've been singing, I've been in a band and everything. So yeah, when he came into my life, it made things so easy, because before I couldn't even imagine what else you can do in the weekends except of partying, and partying was always related to drugs or alcohol. And in my self-pity year, I also found out that it's not that fun anymore, or it wasn't at that time, yeah, because it felt like something has been taken away from me. And with him, I just discovered life in a total new way, and it was amazing. I didn't even feel like I missed anything. So yeah, big thank you. But then something else happened, and that was really weird, because I thought, now I'm eating really healthy, and I'm following exactly what this therapist told me. And then one morning I couldn't get up. I wanted to work, and I couldn't get up anymore. And yeah, I didn't know what was wrong with me, and I was really, really shocked. So I called sick, and I took a couple of days, and when it didn't stop after a couple of days, yeah, I went to a doctor, and the doctor totally checked me out, and he said, well, you're totally fine, you're really healthy, and your food seems to be healthy. Yeah, so I can't really do anything for you. And he said, I'm thinking that you're having a psychosomatic depression. And I said, well, I thought things were getting better with me. And he said, yeah, no. So I would really advise you to go into a clinic for a couple of months for depressive people, for psychosomatic illnesses. And I thought, wow, what a shock. You know, I thought my life was getting better. So I was really shocked. And I went to a second doctor because I couldn't believe it. So I went to another natural doctor. And he actually, yeah, he told me the same about my body. He said, it looks like you're really, really doing well. But can I ask you something? Like, what in your life do you actually like at the moment? And are you actually living the life you're dreaming of? And I said, well, I've got a job. And, you know, at that time I was working with kids, and I had a child daycare. And for a long time I couldn't really deal with this system anymore, because the kids, they're just babies, and I think babies have to stay home with their mom. And it's really hard. They're missing their mommies in the beginning, and you have to kind of, you know, try to build up a connection with them, and it always worked in the end. But it's actually a really sad thing that every now and then, you know, they were looking out of the window and asking if mommy's already coming home, and it was really sad. And on the other hand, it was never, you know, it was never my life dream, so it wasn't this, yeah. So it was more, you know, I loved the kids, but I felt that there's just something wrong in this system. And I thought, when I was self-employed, that I could help them, that I could, you know, do the day the way I wanted to. But in the end you can't, because people are watching, government is checking on you, you know, you can't just, you have to have your day structure, you have to have your sleep patterns, and this is all things that I actually don't agree with anymore. And So I went back home, and I was sick for like two weeks. And in those 2 weeks, I've been really thinking. I thought, well, what do I want to do? And I only knew that I didn't want to do that anymore. And I thought, well, if your body is telling you so hardly that this is not your way, then why should you go back to it? But of course, I was afraid of financial trouble, because financially I was just about to get stable. Yeah, so I quit the job. Yeah, and didn't know what else I was gonna do afterwards. And yeah, I've been thinking about doing this therapy that this doctor advised. And at that moment, the course I told you about, my enlightenment course, the Free Spirit course, actually exactly at the moment when I decided to go into that clinic, I saw an advertisement of the course, and I saw that people who have already done it, that there was a special offer that they can do it again for free. And I thought, wow, just at this point of time, for free. Yeah. So I was still struggling a little bit, because I thought, well, yeah, this clinique you get for free, to this course you still have to drive and pay the hotel cost, and I didn't have a job anymore. And I thought, I don't know. But I mean, my heart knew exactly. And at that point, I made the best decision to go there again and not go into that clinique. And now afterwards, I know exactly why, because let me tell you, in those cliniques, I mean, I've been working there, and I thought it's going to be fun if I'm a patient there. But yeah, they treat you like a depressive person. And I think in my state, where I didn't actually feel depressive at all, if they would have told me every day that I'm depressive, I think I would have believed them maybe. And also, I know that they tried to put the people under medication. I would have refused, but I know how therapists see that when you refuse. I mean, I've been a therapist myself, working together with others. When people refuse their medication, it's seen like they don't want to work on their treatment, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so in the end, I decided to do the course. And those courses also always have topics afterwards. There's an extra weekend where they have a topic, and it was about your vision, and it was about your responsibility in life. And I've already done this workshop before, but it's so amazing, and at different stages in your life, so many different things come up. So when I've done this workshop, I finally found out what I wanted to do. I always wanted to sing, and I always wanted to live in a warm place, and I always wanted to no, I don't always. Since a short time, I want to live in an ecological village, where you live self-sufficient, and where you live self-sufficient. So producing your own energy, producing your own food, living in a community together with like-minded people. That's what actually my dreams were. So this was the very first time in my life that I knew what they were, but actually in the end I always knew what they were. But this was the first time that I actually admitted this to myself. And this is such a breakthrough. You can't imagine when your whole life you're walking around without any goals in your life, and at that point I finally had those goals. But I was at home sick. I didn't get any health insurance or whatever, because I was self-employed, and at that point I didn't want to live from the job center, because I wanted to be free. Yeah, I didn't want to go to the next station where they force me to do things that I don't want to do, because I just left that job. So I stopped. So I lived from money that I actually saved, and I could live by that for about 6 months. And in those 6 months, first I really recovered, and I needed a lot of time. And then I was also planning. I'm always very spontaneous, so I wasn't really planning. But it took me about three months, 3 months that I needed for myself to get everything fixed, to think about what my next steps are. And I just have to check the time. Oh, it's already time. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna tell you how it's going on, how the story is going on next time. And yeah, thank you very much. So I'm gonna sing the song later again, 2:45, and I would be happy if you join me. Next week there's the normal time again, 8 o'clock, the Rock Diary, and 8 o'clock on Wednesday, 8 o'clock, the Rock Diary, and on Thursday, 8 o'clock, the singing. And yeah, on Monday my new workshop starts, but that's gonna be in German this time. So see you next time.